Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a hump day edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, Banners Orthopedic Clinic, HUDCO Roofing, HUDCORoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, HUDCO Roofing, HUDCORoofing.com. Hope your Wednesday's off to a great start. We've reached the middle of the week. Should be a low stress week for LSU football. As Tigers take on New Mexico on Saturday. Third consecutive home weekend before the grind of October begins. Saints are headed to Carolina, take on the Panthers, and then they jet overseas for their London game a week from Sunday. So schedule gets real here. Speaking of schedules, in case you missed it, LSU, on Tuesday night, the SEC Network had their schedule reveal or schedule release for 2023. So we knew who LSU was going to play. What we didn't know yet was in what order, right? Like, so you're playing your West schools. We knew the non-conference opponents. Florida was your permanent, and that Missouri was rotating on. So Tennessee off, Missouri on. So that much we knew. We knew the opponents. What we didn't know was the order in which LSU would play them. So let's run through that. And there's a couple of things on here that are like, but one thing I really like a lot. So, so they're going to open up on September the 3rd in Orlando against Florida State. We knew they were opening in Orlando against Florida State, but that September 3rd is a Sunday. So they are going to open again on Sunday. No week zero game for LSU, and I don't know if Florida State will play a week zero game. That's not scheduled yet. So September 3rd. So you'll play Sunday, and then at home the following Saturday against Grambling. So similar to this year where you play the marquee opener, and then you welcome a short week, and you play your SWAC opponent with Southern this year, which obviously the short week didn't affect LSU, and I don't suspect it will against Grambling. Then you go to Mississippi State, and here's the big change. You're home against Arkansas in September. That game moves from November to September. So a really significant change. And then you're at Ole Miss. And then you're at Missouri, home against Auburn, home against Army. Usually we have looked at October and been like, okay, well, LSU eases into the schedule in October, or into September. October's a bear, and then you've got Bama waiting in November, but usually you have your non-conference breather mixed in there as well, which they do, but this is, so after you open with Florida State and Grambling, this is your next 6 weeks without a break. At State, home against Arkansas, at Ole Miss, at Missouri, home against Auburn, home against Army. Open date at Bama. Then Florida. So you go Bama, Florida, back-to-back weeks. Home against Georgia State, and then you finish up with A&M. So you finish with 3 consecutive home games. But, boy, this is, I could argue that even though you have 3 road conference games in 4 weeks, State, Ole Miss, Missouri, with Arkansas mixed in, that part of the schedule is manageable because you should win at State. You should easily win at Missouri. It kind of depends on what Ole Miss is, but certainly a winnable game as well. And the home game is Arkansas, and you'd rather play one at home. So, and they would be without KJ Jefferson, Friday he goes pro. So, there is a way to spin it. Is YouTube buffering? Oh, maybe it's just my screen, sorry. But yeah, that is a certainly a heavy lift next year, and I hate the fact that you play Army smack dab in the middle of the schedule. After you play 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll play 5 consecutive SEC games and then Army. Whew. Anyway, brutal. All right, we'll say some good mornings here. David Coslin, good morning. What's going on there? Bubba Tatum, good morning. Just out of curiosity, what's the FCC fine for dropping F-bombs in the AFR? I didn't drop it, came close. But it would only be if it were reported and they investigated. And I mean, there's been way worse on the air. So, Truax, what's up? Bob Poole, good morning. Jeff McKithen, Brandon English, good morning. Hey, what's up, Brandon English? How are we playing at Missouri again? So, remember, it's weird. The 2020 season was a one-off. So LSU did play at Mizzou during the COVID year, but remember, because this is so weird. Anyway, I don't know what's going on. Weird. Okay, whatever. Like, my comments are gone. Facebook just canceled. Something's going on. I don't know what's going on here. All right, YouTube. Let me know if you're still there, YouTube. I hope you are. Just give me a thumbs up or like a yes if you're still there, YouTube, because then I'll just go YouTube only. Okay, YouTube's good. Right then, I'm just gonna close my tablet and I'm just gonna go straight from the phone, and you'll get an extreme close up of me today, so I can read the comments. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, Jordan Coleman, good morning. Brad David, Wendell Norman, Cliff Nelson, good morning. Larry Garner. Let's see, Jordan, can we get Kayshawn more involved in the run game? Yeah, I think they'll get creative with ways to give him the football. I mean, they did that against Southern. Remember, they gave him the ball on the jet sweep. They brought him in motion. They gave him the shovel pass in motion. So yes, that's definitely in the playbook. Trivia Carter, Joey Vincent, Brady Smith. Morning, Matt. AFR stream from yesterday got pulled again. Seems like you're being targeted. No, Brady, it's not that. It's when we play licensed music. It really depends on who the company is that owns the rights to the music. And on YouTube, some of them will allow you to use it. You just can't monetize the channel, which we don't monetize 104.5 ESPN anyway because of all of the licensed music we play. But some will pause, or they'll take down the stream, and then whenever the full check of the show goes on, they give us the option to play the stream muted in those spots, which we'll do, but we'll have to wait until the full check is done. And then, so anyway, I apologize. There's just no way to know which ones are okay and which ones aren't. So Gregory Gordy, Ryan Pike, when do we admit to ourselves Malik is going to have a better season than Booty? Maybe. I mean, that's certainly possible, Ryan. I mean, Malik's a great receiver, and I mean, he's leading LSU in receptions, receiving yards, and yards per catch right now. So if teams are going to try to take away Kayshawn, then you've got to have your other guys hurt them. And Malik certainly did that on that last drive Saturday when he converted 3 third downs on the 4th down. Great player, man. Brad David, do you think people overreacted to Shane Beamer yelling at female athletes to get off the field? I don't know what the reaction was. I mean, I saw the story. For those that didn't see it, there was at South Carolina, Georgia on Saturday. South Carolina was honoring some female athletes it was a Title IX recognition type deal during the game, and Shane Beamer was basically yelling at them to get off the field after the timeout, and his explanation, I believe him completely. He's like, they were coming. It was a timeout, and the refs had told him, hey, look, you got to be over the ball, ready to go on the snap or on the whistle or something like that. And so the refs had told him that. He was, they had his team on the sideline in the huddle. And so then they're running out onto the field to try to get over the football, and there's all these people in the end zone. So he didn't know what was going on. I mean, why would the coach know? Like, you get a timeout, it's like a 60-second timeout. Your team is on the sideline with you. You're huddling, you're calling a play strategy. Like, you're not paying attention to what's going on in the end zone. Like, what marketing promotion they have going on. So all he knows is that he's got to be over the ball trying to score, and there's people in the end zone. So I kind of get it. He apologized for it. I mean, but if you're offended by that, then I mean, come on, do better. I'm not saying you are, by the way, but Jordan Coleman, can we see Daniels return for a second year? Can you? Yes. Will you? No. Jason Mobile, not going to lie, when I saw that G for a split second, I was like, WTF, why are we playing Georgia? Yeah, not Georgia, Grambling. Brad, why does baseball not end earlier? It's not smart having to compete with football season. No, Brad, I kind of disagree there, man. I mean, October baseball is part of Americana. I'd say the bigger problem is that the NBA should go, the NBA starting its season, like, because baseball postseason is always going to do well. The problem is NBA regular season starting in October is stupid because you're right in the middle of football now, and there's this big hole in July. Like, the NBA should move its season to where they start it on Christmas Day and finish it in July. That's what the NBA should do. That if you're going to make one big change to the sports calendar, that's it. Rapping batches, Tempest Love, good morning. Let's see, LSU football is going to run the table, win a natty. Totally going to happen. Nah, bro. Alex Barnes, what's good? Let's see, Gregory, I know it's early, but could you see any of the coordinators' assistants leaving after this year? So, yes, always. I mean, it is very, very rare that you return a coaching staff in its entirety. You're talking about 10 full-time assistants, coordinators, position coaches who are, a lot of them ambitious, want to move up and move on in their career. So, yeah, I would be very, very surprised if there was no staff turnover. That just rarely, if ever, happens. I do think Matt House is here because, he left the NFL because he wants to be a college football head coach. And the best path to being a college head coach is to first be a college coordinator at a major place like LSU, not a linebackers coach in the NFL. So Matt House is one. I don't know that after 1 year he'll get that opportunity, but we'll see. Brad David is David Davis. Sorry, is I was looking at I could comments here. Brad Davis is one certainly to watch as well. Cortez Hankton, guys who may become coordinators get that opportunity. Brady Smith, Brian Williams, Donovan Peterson. Jeff, what's up, my dude? We got to talk today. Andre Green, Arthur Coco. No trivia. Facebook isn't trash. I hit the refresh button, which is why I killed the stream. Gregory Gordon, extreme close-up shows your nose hairs. Got lots of them, dude. Arthur Coco, Leandra Lewis, Weston Weaver. Good morning, Matt. Is the schedule up to Brian Kelly's preference, or does he have a say? So you got to keep in mind, Weston, like, Brian Kelly can certainly have a say in how LSU schedules future non-conference games. But as far as the conference opponents, the league sets that schedule. Now, schools can certainly make requests about when they'd want to play an opponent. For example, like LSU made it known they were tired of playing Arkansas on the Friday after Thanksgiving. They never wanted that game, and so ultimately when Missouri came into the league, Arkansas and Missouri now play that Friday after Thanksgiving game, and LSU plays A&M on the final weekend. So, you could make those types of requests when you'd like to see an opponent pop up on the schedule. Very, very odd to see Florida on the schedule in November for next year, but they basically flipped Florida and Arkansas on LSU schedule. 7:50. Okay, let's do about 10 more minutes, y'all. Smash that like button. Appreciate y'all watching. As always, shout out to Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. You need an orthopedist? You go to Brock. Need a roof? Give us a shout at Hudco, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Troy Davis, Matt, I may check out the Arkansas A&M game. What's your prediction? Let me look a little deeper into that one, Troy. And I need to tonight before Scone and Tea. But it's probably going to surprise a lot of people. I mean, I think Arkansas is playing better, certainly better team. I'm kind of leaning A&M, though. A&M just had a lot of success in that series against Arkansas. Again, I don't think A&M, I told y'all last week, I don't think A&M is as bad as the team that lost to App State. They were sleepy, got punched in the mouth, came back, won a big game. The trade-off, though, is A&M played a really tough game against Miami, whereas Arkansas kind of had their layup against Missouri State. And I know it ended up not being a layup, but, just as far as the intensity and physicality of the game, just two different ones there. Interesting, though, that game had been like the 11 a.m. game at Jerry World. They're playing it at night this week. Curious if that makes any difference. Brian Pinton, good morning. Alex Barnes, Matt, why didn't we see Walker Howard a little during the Southern game? We did. Walker Howard played against Southern. Tim Gotro, Chad Vicknair, Edward O, good morning. Jordan Coleman, do you think Tyrann Mathieu will have a job at LSU one day? If he wants it. I mean, I don't know if he wants it, Jordan. I mean, if he wants to be a staff member and fill a role similar to what Nick Brissett's doing now or what Kevin Falk did previously, absolutely he'll have a role if he wants it. But what you got to keep in mind is, like, for a lot of those guys, when you've been at such a high level for so long and you played professionally, and then if you want to get into coaching or something like that, you start at the bottom of the rung, the bottom rung of the ladder. So, are you willing to go through that kind of grind to have a career? I'll give you an example. It's Kevin Mawai, right? So, Kevin's a Pro Football Hall of Famer. I mean, he was working as an analyst at Arizona State, then was like the assistant offensive line coach with, no, he was with the Bears as an intern. Became an analyst at Arizona State with Herm, of course, because Herm coached him with the Jets. And then left Arizona State and was like the assistant offensive line coach with the Colts. He's in his second year there. So, like, Pro Football Hall of Famer who is having to start, at the bottom and work his way up. So it kind of depends if they want to do that. Like, if you're Tyrann Mathieu, like, do you want to live in Baton Rouge? I mean, he's played for Arizona, Kansas City, Houston, now New Orleans. Does he want to live in Louisiana? Does he want to live in Baton Rouge? Does he want to work in the college football athletic department? I don't know. Ryan Rogers, Matt, could Judge get 70 with a deep playoff run? Well, remember, Ryan, playoff stats don't count toward your regular season numbers. So he would have to hit 70 in the regular season. And the answer to that is no. He would have to go on an otherworldly tear to hit 10 more homers. But it was pretty cool to watch it last night. Judge hit number 60, and if you didn't see the game, it was crazy. It was a little bit of a back and forth. Yankees took the lead in the sixth, 4-3. Pirates got the lead back, 5-4. And then in the ninth, the Pirates went up 8-4. And I was like, man, so I went and bathed Drew. And I came back in, and I missed Judge's homer. He hit it in the bottom of the ninth to make it 8-5, and then Stanton hit the grand slam to win it, to walk it off. So I saw Stanton's grand slam, but I walked back in literally like Judge had just hit the homer and he was getting in the dugout, like right when I walked back in the den. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I sat here and watched this whole dang game. I watched my team blow it in the ninth, and I missed the freaking homer in the bottom of the ninth. But then, of course, they load the bases and Judge hit the grand slam. So, Stanton hit the grand slam. So, but it was cool. Hit 60. Next one, so he ties Ruth. I know we talked about it on AFR a bit yesterday. I think what Judge is doing is remarkable because you have to think of it this way. Babe Ruth hit 60 homers in 1927. Roger Maris, of course, hit 61 homers in 1961, but that was after they expanded the schedule, so that's why there's an asterisk next to Maris's home run record, because his 61 it took more games than what Ruth had. Judge, and then of course came the steroid guys. Judge hit 60 in fewer games than Ruth did. So Judge is actually, in the American League, the fastest ever to 60, faster even than Babe, and will certainly pass Ruth and Maris because he'll hit 2 more, at least. So he'll have the American League record. He will have legitimately passed Babe Ruth. And so you're talking about, it's 1927. It's been 95 years. It's been 95 years since a person legitimately hit 60 home runs in more games than Babe Ruth. It's an incredible mouthful when you say it. Like what Aaron Judge is doing it's incredible. And I know everybody is rightfully scarred by the steroid era, and home run numbers and their legitimacy don't mean as much. But something like what Aaron Judge is doing right now could and maybe should and possibly will re-energize that sector. I hope so anyway. All right, y'all, a couple more minutes here. All right, 3 more minutes. As always, shout out to Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Of course, you need an orthopedist, you go to Brock. Need a roof, give us a shout at Hudco. Hudco is our state's only locally owned, certified, fortified roofing company. If you're not familiar with fortified roofing, it can lower your insurance premiums as much as 52% if you have a fortified roof. And Hudco is the only Louisiana-based roofing company that offers fortified roofing. So give us a shout. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Love to explain more. Michael Thacker, morning, Scone. All I've ever known as LSU success. What does the program look like today if Nick never came or left? It looks like what Alabama's does. Oh, if he never came. That's a good question. So, if he never left, it looks like Bama's does right now. If he never came, they had been told no when they hired Nick, they had been turned down. And they were about to move on to coordinators when Sean Toohey, who was friends with Joe Dean, you'll know Sean Toohey from the Blind Side fame. Well, Sean Toohey and Jimmy Sexton were very good friends, are very good friends. And Sexton, of course, represented Nick Saban. Well, Sean Toohey and Joe Dean were very good friends from their careers in the shoe business. So Sean Toohey called Joe Dean and said, "Would you like to talk to Nick Saban?" And Joe Dean said, "Sure." So that's how Joe Dean and Jimmy Sexton ended up basically connecting on Nick to get him here. Otherwise LSU would have hired a coordinator, and I don't know who and how that would have gone. Don't know. But yeah, suffice to say, life would be very different for LSU fans. Let's see, Quinn Unclade. We better beat Carolina this week. Yeah, man, I feel good about the Saints this week going to Carolina. Although they did get pounded there last week, and I want to know what's up with Jameis. If they play Jameis with a broken back again, all bets are off. But I'd kind of like to see them give him some time to just heal, relax, because it's the reason you signed Andy Dalton. So, play Andy against Carolina, play Andy in London. It's nothing. You want Jameis with a broken back sitting on an 8-hour flight to London? Come on. All right, last one, Ryan Rodgers, your favorite college coach of all time. Nick Saban. I mean, LSU fans probably hate when I say that, but I don't care. I mean, I was in college at LSU for Nick's 4 years. For my 4 years in college, where Nick was the coach, and he brought LSU to its first championship in 45 years. It's something I never thought I'd see. I mean, forget a national championship. Just getting to Atlanta for the SEC championship felt like forbidden fruit. It felt like the forbidden land that LSU could never reach. And Nick kicked down that door, man. Everything LSU is now is because he opened the door and shined a light on the path. I mean, so as much as it sucks to watch him do what he's done at Alabama, knowing it could have been LSU, LSU doesn't have a bad lot in life. I mean, you've won 3 natties, played for a 4th since 2003, and that's because Nick showed the way. So I probably have a different take than most on him, but I'm grateful to Nick Saban. Shoot, man, it was so much fun to be a college kid, going to every college football game while I was in school and during the Nick Saban era. Increíble. All right, y'all, I got to go. Got to get Drew up, get him out to school. So y'all have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. LSU Daily is already live if you want to check that out. However you get your podcast, just search LSU Daily. AFR 3, Scone and Tea tonight from Olive or Twist. We'll see y'all there. Have a great day. Peace.